Mr. Welcome back to the channel, baby. So Bio-nanogenomics, the stock has been falling from the sky. It's gone from $6 all the way down to $4.41. And now what have I been doing since Bio-nanogenomics has dropped into this $4 range? If you can see here on the screen, I'm scrolling down, you'll be able to see that I've been accumulating the shares each and every day. Every time it takes a dip, I'm buying a little bit more of Bio-nanogenomics. I've actually sold my charge point. I was up 109% on this company. I completely sold all of the shares and I decided to accumulate and buy more Bio-nanogenomics. I was up on 23andMe stock earlier on in this month and I actually sold it for just 5% profit. And yet again, I was buying more Bio-nanogenomics. Now there's been some more Saphyrs that have been installed. Oh yeah! But that isn't even the juicy news. The juicy news is actually, who is this Tuomo Manteri? What has he been up to? What has he been doing in his activity? And looking through his LinkedIn, what did we find? A little hint that I'm looking at is multiple projects on projects that are using optical genome mapping or talking about it, and also some people who are in some unique positions in certain countries. Now, none of this is financial advice, it's for entertainment only. I can't tell you to buy a stock, I can't tell you to sell a stock, I can't even tell you to hold a stock. But what I can tell you is what I've been doing. I've now got 1,500 shares of Bio-nanogenomics, and I'm going to continue to buy as much Bio-nanogenomics as possible. So the stock has dropped, but if you look at the company, we've installed more Saphyrs than ever. 112% year-over-year total revenue increase. We installed another 20 systems. We shipped a total of 24 Saphyrs in that one quarter. We have sold the most flow cells sold in any quarter ever. So of all time, 3,969 nanochannel array flow cells. So today we had a lot of posting going on. Thank you, Brennan, messenger of Moiseville MOM Genomics. About an hour ago, Louis Navalier released this. Bio-nano is on track for growth thanks to Saphyr. And Louis Navalier has said if you dig into the details, it's clear it's still making progress with Saphyr. Expect things to take some time, but give it a few more quarters. And the market's blasé view of BNGO stock stands to change in a big way. Like Henry has quoted here, this was the 6th quarter in a row that the company has beat analyst revenue estimates. He said, "You see this? We're sitting on an effing rocket, fueled and ready to blast to the moon." And analyzing what Lewis has written, Bio-nanogenomics has generated $4.7 million in sales. It's up 112% year over year. Just like what played out last quarter, this early stage company has once again posted triple-digit percentage revenue growth. This was the 6th quarter in a row that the company has beat analyst revenue estimates. The results are due to increased installations of the Saphyr optical genome mapping instrument. And now one thing I want to tell you is not every customer, not every client, not every installation do they put up and say, "Hey man, look, we made another sale." They don't do that. But some of the clients are so proud that when they do show that they've got a Bio-nanogenomics Saphyr machine, they share it. So Rich Shippy has shared a tweet from Tuomo Manteri. Tuomo Manteri has said that he is happy and proud to have our lab all set for new research projects using Bio-nanogenomics optical genome mapping. He put 3 hashtags here, focusing on breast cancer, leukemia, and rare disease. And this guy is based at the University of Oulu, a multidisciplinary university in northern Finland. So we're not just here to celebrate one customer who has bought Bio-nanogenomics, but we're here to investigate this guy. We want to take a look at him and we want to take a look back in time. But before we look into this man, before we look into the University of Oulu, I want you to take a look at what the team is doing. I've invested in this company, but I've also invested in these individuals. I've invested in the business as a whole. November 15, Eric Holmlin, Sohil Shams, even Yannick Delpu. The whole team was in the Renaissance Barcelona hotel pitching optical genome mapping and trying to get some sales. The whole team was there, and they don't only see this as work, they see this as a mission. This is a massive mission to them to build out this company, to get optical genome mapping written into guidelines, to get it sold and get people using the machine. Now picture this, you can see Al Kachaube there. A couple days later, November 19th, you can see them here. Dr. Al Kachaube, Bio-nano CMO, is presenting now at the South Carolina Genetics Conclave hosted by Greenwood Genetics Center. These guys are flying around the world, they're pitching and they're selling the Saphyr. This event is a South Carolina statewide meeting with the purpose of making advances in clinical research with the use of advanced genetic and genomic technologies. So now that was a quick update, but this is where it gets interesting. I had to go digging, baby. This guy Tuomo Manteri, the guy who's just revealed that they've got a Bio-nanogenomics Saphyr in their lab in Finland. I took a look at the man. I could see he's a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Oulu. He's been working and interested in genetics for quite a while, but this wasn't the interesting thing about him. I took a look at his activity and I wanted to look into the past and see what this man has been up to. First of all, you can see what his colleagues have been been up to. They're super excited. Is this the Matrix? Nope, it's just the first high resolution optical mapping run in our lab. Pretty cool, don't you think? And if you scroll down, we wanted to go deeper into the past to see what they've been working on. This guy has been both utilizing and following bionanogenomics, and he even liked Yannick Delpou's post a month ago. This was the post on the Genome Diagnostics Nijmegen Maastricht. It spoke about optical genome mapping, a discipline that examines chromosomes for abnormalities. They spoke about how good optical genome mapping is, but this is the interesting part. Research performed by our colleagues Alexander Hoyshin and Dominic Smeets. Who is Dominic Smeets? They were showing that optical genome mapping detects cytogenic aberrations very quickly, effectively, and accurately, sometimes even better than all existing techniques together. Oh man. So when we take a look at Dominic Smeets, we can see he's the Chairman Advisory Committee Foundation for Prenatal Screening in the Nijmegen area in the Netherlands. So this man has been in a position of power for now 3 years, 11 months. He's been a theme leader in fertility and pregnancy for over a decade, and he's been a board member for the Dutch Society of Clinical Genetic Laboratory Diagnostics for 9 years, 11 months. So this is really interesting. You've got people using optical genome mapping who have some power within industries in certain countries. Then if you continue to scroll, you can see Tuomo has been following bionanogenomics for quite a while now. Before installing the Saphyr in the laboratory in Finland, we can see that he's been looking at what people have been researching, and he's been looking at all these different articles people are posting on LinkedIn to show their publications and what they have found. He's been reading articles about optical genome mapping, but he has also been part of a massive study before. This is 4 months ago that he published this. In this paper, they were using long-read technologies, PacBio and bionanogenomics to identify disease-causing structural variants that other technologies missed. In fact, 4 months ago, the Chief Operating Officer at Bionanogenomics, Mark Oldakowski, he said, "Great work, Tomo. You and your colleagues have been amazingly productive. I hope all is well in your new endeavors." And we can see what's happened at his new endeavors. He's brought in optical genome mapping to the University of Oulu. Also, 4 months ago, you want to take a look at this. Next generation cytogenetics. So Xomics posted this. First of all, we're going to cover what is Xomics, but before we do that, let's just see what they wrote. They wrote, recently a new technique has become available, optical genome mapping, which can enable the detection of both large and small changes. Recent research shows OGM detects cytogenetic aberrations very quickly, effectively, and accurately. You can see the company here is Xomics. Xomics, the Netherlands Xomics Initiative, is a national roadmap, large-scale research infrastructure, partially funded by NWO with a total budget of 40 million euro. The 3 main challenges that Xomics will focus on to efficiently advance genomics by achieving new breakthroughs. Number 1, higher throughput. They want lowering costs and sample needed to improve scaling of whole genome sequencing analysis and tag-based approaches. They're looking for higher accuracy and sensitivity, for structural variant detection using long-read technology, improve coverage of analysis towards more complete human genomes and transcriptomes. The research that you see here, the 40 million euros they said, was partially funded by NWO. NWO, you can see here, these guys are known as the Dutch Research Council. They fund top researchers, steers the course of Dutch medicine by means of research programs. One of the best things I saw was Henry saying, "Woohoo, bingo in Finland," and Rich Shippy replying, "Saphyr installed base is growing fast." Bam, bam. This guy wouldn't say or suggest that the Saphyr installed base is growing fast if it wasn't. And now to talk about the demand as well, let's go back a couple of years. I found a contract. So I don't know if you saw in the news recently about whole genome sequencing and Queen Mary's University of London. That big juicy one that was in the news, Queen Mary's University of London covered it in a blog, and someone from Queen Mary's also spoke. This was regarding in my previous video, whole genome sequencing, Illumina, and the 100,000 Genome Project, where they're looking to uncover new diagnoses for people across the broadest range of rare diseases. So Queen Mary's has actually had the Saphyr for a number of years now. In 2019 to 2020, they got £271,000 for this one research project. And if you look into the planned impact, there's some key words in here that I found particularly interesting. They said that bringing the Saphyr to them will allow them to generate gold standard chromosome scale assemblies for hundreds and thousands of individuals, regardless of genome size. Due to its unsurpassed throughput and cost effectiveness, the Saphyr is in demand. This was back in 2019, 2020, and now we're seeing, we're shipping off 24 systems in the last quarter. In terms of networks here at the bottom, it says that a Saphyr will allow UK users to take more active roles in large research networks that require optical mapping, including major genome consortia. And then you can see here they spoke about bugs and ELPHIC involved in consortia focused on trees and starfish respectively. And now because I've applied to go and attend at the Festival of Genomics, I got an email, and these guys were actually investigating using bionanogenomics Saphyr. In previous previous years. So in this contract, it says here, Professor R. Bugs is using genomics to uncover the genetic basis of resistance to diseases in trees. This is including the disease ash dieback, which has decimated the UK's ash population, costing an estimated £15 billion of damage. Now on the 16th of November, Shannon Gunn, I don't know who this is, but she is beautiful, and Mr. Richard Bugs looking dashing. They were speaking yet again about who Richard Bugs is, what he's currently researching, and what he hopes to achieve in the future. Richard Bugs is a professor of evolutionary genomics at Queen Mary's, University of London, and a senior research leader at Royal Botanical Gardens, Kew. So he wants to figure out and understand the basis of pest and pathogen susceptibility of plants. And with some of the technology they've been using, they've been looking to see if they can find resistant trees and more susceptible trees. And going back to the project, when we look at research, they said that several of these users have active funding to use the Saphyr. Yet again, the publication of research, the asset will have broader impact, benefiting researchers working in the fields of ecological and evolutionary genomics across the global community. So basically, the idea that I'm kind of setting forth with you guys is, so I think the team at Bionanogenomics, they decided to go and target people at key sites and people who are not only looking to innovate and find new things, but people who have power to change the industry. So they're looking at people who can also influence guidelines. And with lots of research being presented forward at different events, including at this event called the Association for Molecular Pathology, we can see here the lineup. One of the things that stood out to me was the University Health Network in Toronto, Canada, that massive network of hospitals. They were actually presenting as well. So we have these key research universities, we have these key hospitals, these networks, people who have actively used the machine, moving on to different roles and then adopting a Saphyr into the new labs. We have the chief business officer telling us that the Saphyr installed base is growing fast, and then we have this stock price that continues to drop. So I'm going to continue accumulating as much Bionanogenomics as possible. I saw my favorite stocks NNDM and Palantir have also dropped, and somebody put Nano Dimension right next to BNGO and it looks like they move in the same pattern. It's so weird. On top of that, a previous video that I made, it showed Fintel listing Vanguard in the previous quarter at $7.70. Then it updated it and said they were at $6.42. Now it said that the Vanguard group have 15 million shares at $4.16. People are asking how, people are asking why. It may be just something on Fintel's side. Maybe they've just updated and modified the information that they have. Finally, before I end this video, if you've done your due diligence on Bionanogenomics, how do you feel? When you were at the earnings call as well and you were analyzing the company, what has happened between that earnings call and now that has changed your mind on the company? We have an acquisition, we're selling more flow cells than ever, we're installing the Saphyr. What do you think has happened? What do you think has changed between now and then for the company stock to drop this much? Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Are you continuing to buy? Are you averaging down? Are you accumulating more shares? Some people are actually averaging up. Some people are at 50 cents and they've decided to start buying in even more right now. So yeah, I hope you're all doing good. Give you a quick update on me as well. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a student nurse, so currently I'm working like shifts and shifts at the hospital, long days, cleaning people, wrapping bodies, giving compassionate care to patients, holding people's hands when they're crying, when they're in pain. These are some of the people who are really sick. Some people are going to die. Some people are going to survive with horrific injuries, and some people will recover. So I'm sorry I haven't been showing you all the things that I've been looking at on Bionanogenomics, and I'm checking and researching what I can find. By the time I get home, I don't have enough time to make a video, but I will be making more videos soon. And for me, I can't tell you to buy, I can't tell you to sell or hold a stock. This is not financial advice for entertainment only, but I'm going to continue buying Bionanogenomics as much as I can on a weekly basis, because in terms of the need for the Saphyr, I can see that the need is there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it valuable and entertaining. Please drop me a thumbs up, drop me some comments, and if you'd like to send any donations, I have a PayPal link in my description box below. I wish you guys the best each and every day. I'm going to continue buying Bionanogenomics, and I'm looking at the company, I'm looking at the business and how they're building out. Right now, I can't fault them. I can't fault their efforts. I can't fault the amount of flow cells that they sold. It's the most flow cells ever. I can't fault the amount of Saphyrs they installed in the last quarter, because I was predicting 15. They came out with 20. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Mr. Investor, over and out, baby.